don't forget to subscribe. Can you subscribe to my new channel for support purposes? David Carter was a man in his 40s living in a quiet town in America. Years ago, he had lost his beloved wife, Emily, in a tragic car accident. Emily's death had turned David's life upside down and plunged him into deep loneliness. Struggling to adapt to life without Emily, David spent most of his time on the internet. A computer programmer and amateur hacker, he would surf the web to distract himself and forget his loneliness, even if only for a moment. During sleepless nights, filled with memories of Emily, David found himself exploring forums in the depths of the dark web. One night, bored with his usual research, he decided to delve into more interesting and unknown topics. He stumbled upon various theories and conspiracy stories about the existence of aliens. Initially, these stories seemed entertaining and intriguing, but over time he developed a serious curiosity about the subject. David began to deeply investigate whether aliens truly existed. Using his computer and hacking skills, he scoured the internet for hidden information. Night after night, he sat at his computer for hours, gathering information from various sources and piecing together clues. It had become an obsession. He wanted to prove the existence of aliens. One night, while surfing the web, he discovered a website unlike any other. The site was written in complex symbols and an indecipherable language. Intrigued, he hacked into the site. Inside, he found messages from various star systems. These messages appeared to be a communication network used by extraterrestrial beings to converse with each other. As David deciphered the messages, the information he uncovered left him astounded. One message, in particular, caught his attention. It was a distress call from a wounded alien woman named Naira, from the Zeta Reticuli star system. In her message, Naira described how she had been captured and injured by a hostile group of aliens. She was desperately pleading for help. As David read the message, he felt a strong urge to help her. The despair and pain she described resonated deeply with him. He remembered the helplessness he felt when he lost Emily and decided he had to help Naira. With this decision, David's life gained a new purpose. However, reaching Naira and helping her would not be easy. He needed to find a way to travel to space. He approached NASA and private space companies, but all of them rejected his requests. Undeterred, he decided to build his own small spacecraft using information and resources he gathered from secret sources in the black market. After months of intense work, David finally built a vehicle capable of space travel. During this time, he continued to communicate secretly with Naira. She guided him on how to survive the arduous journey through space and provided details about where she was being held captive. Once all preparations were complete, David set off for Zeta Reticuli in his small spacecraft. From this point on, David's life would take a path filled with unexpected adventures and dangers, but he was ready to face any challenge to rescue and help Naira. His quest to prove the existence of aliens had now transformed into a personal rescue mission, and this adventure would change David's life forever. David's sleepless nights had led him to countless corners of the internet, but nothing had prepared him for what he found that night. As he delved deeper into the abyss of the dark web, he stumbled upon a peculiar website. It was unlike anything he had ever seen before. The site was a maze of complex symbols and an undecipherable language pulsating with an eerie, otherworldly energy. His curiosity piqued. David decided to hack into the site. The process was challenging, even for someone with his extensive hacking skills. The security measures were sophisticated, almost as if designed to keep out intruders from another world. After hours of intense concentration and meticulous coding, David finally breached the site's defenses. What he found inside was astonishing. The website was a communication hub, a nexus of messages from various star systems. It appeared to be a secret network used by extraterrestrial beings to converse and share information. The messages were filled with unfamiliar symbols and strange patterns, each one a puzzle waiting to be solved. David's heart raced as he began to decode them, feeling as if he had stumbled upon a hidden treasure trove of the universe's secrets. Among the myriad of messages, one stood out. It was a distress signal, a plea for help from a wounded alien woman named Naira. The message was filled with urgency and desperation, describing how she had been captured and injured by a hostile group of aliens. Naira's words were a cry from the depths of space, echoing through the vast void and reaching David's computer screen. As David read Naira's message, he felt an inexplicable connection to her plight. Her despair and pain struck a chord within him, reminding him of his own feelings of helplessness after losing Emily. The thought of someone out there, suffering and in need of help, spurred him into action. He couldn't just ignore her plea, he had to do something. Using the information Naira provided in her message, David began to piece together her location. She was being held captive in the Zeta Reticuli star system, a place that was both distant and mysterious. Naira's descriptions painted a picture of a hostile environment filled with dangers and challenges. Despite the risks, David was determined to reach her and offer his help. David's background as a computer programmer and hacker gave him the skills he needed to navigate this alien communication network. He continued to decipher the messages, learning more about Naira and her captors. Each message revealed a new piece of the puzzle, guiding him closer to his goal. He hacked into various systems, gathering intelligence and mapping out his plan. Naira's messages became his lifeline, a beacon of hope in the darkness. She described her surroundings in detail, giving David crucial information about her location and the layout of her prison. She also shared her knowledge of the alien technology, helping David understand how to use it to his advantage. Their communication was a delicate dance, filled with secrecy and caution. They couldn't afford to be discovered by Naira's captors. As their conversations continued, David felt a growing bond with Naira. She was more than just a name on a screen. She was a living being with emotions, fears, and hopes. Her resilience and strength inspired him, pushing him to overcome his own doubts and fears. He realized that this mission was about more than just proving the existence of aliens. It was about saving a life. David's preparations intensified. He pored over blueprints, constructed makeshift devices, and tested his spacecraft tirelessly. The project consumed him, but he welcomed the distraction. For the first time since Emily's death, he felt truly alive. He had a purpose, a mission that transcended the mundane routine of his daily life. The day finally came when everything was ready. David sat in his small spacecraft, surrounded by the blinking lights and humming machinery. He took a deep breath, steeling himself for the journey ahead. With a final message to Naira, promising that he was on his way, he launched into the vast expanse of space. The journey was long and perilous, filled with the unknown. David navigated through asteroid fields, avoided gravitational anomalies, and withstood the isolation of space travel. Naira's guidance was his constant companion, her voice a reassuring presence in the solitude. Every moment brought him closer to her, and every challenge strengthened his resolve. When he finally reached the Zeta Reticuli star system, David was awestruck by its beauty and mystery. The stars glittered like diamonds against the velvet blackness, and the planets shimmered with an ethereal glow. But there was no time to marvel. He had a mission to complete. Following Naira's instructions, he approached the planet where she was being held. It was a hostile world, with a harsh landscape and treacherous terrain. David landed his spacecraft carefully, his heart pounding with anticipation. He was finally here, at the threshold of an adventure that would change his life forever. David donned his suit and stepped out onto the alien soil. The air was thick with tension, and every shadow seemed to hide a potential threat. But he pushed forward, guided by the beacon of Naira's messages. Each step brought him closer to her, and he could feel the weight of her plight driving him on. As he neared the facility where Naira was imprisoned, David knew that the real challenge was about to begin. He steeled himself for the battle ahead, knowing that he had come too far to turn back now. He was ready to face whatever dangers lay in his path, determined to rescue Naira and bring her to safety. David's journey had begun with a simple curiosity, but it had evolved into a mission of rescue and redemption. He was no longer just a man searching for answers. He was a hero on a quest to save a life. And as he prepared to infiltrate the alien stronghold, he knew that this was only the beginning of an extraordinary adventure. David Carter had made up his mind he would not abandon Naira to her fate. The sense of purpose he felt was unlike anything he had experienced since the loss of his wife. Naira's plight had ignited a fire within him, a determination to save her no matter the cost. He knew that the journey ahead would be fraught with peril, but he was ready to face it head-on. The first step in his plan was to construct a spacecraft capable of reaching Zeta Reticuli. This was no small feat. David was an experienced programmer and hacker, but building a spacecraft from scratch required knowledge and skills beyond his expertise. Undeterred, he threw himself into research, poring over technical manuals, engineering blueprints, and aerospace journals. He sought out the advice of experts in online forums, posing as an amateur enthusiast with a deep interest in space travel. Don't forget to subscribe.